Hey, I think Brock has a big game this week. Hello, everybody. Terry Bennett here on the Brock Eagle Football Show, brought to you by Tommy Hayes Photography and DFW Executive Realty, right here on S2S Sports, part of L4 Media, as the Brock Eagles take on the Paradise Panthers in the game that we've all been looking forward to. Not only since last year, but when you started to see what Paradise was starting to become a couple years ago, you kind of knew that, that they're going to be a force in a couple years. And then last year, it kind of felt like they were there early. This was a big game for them. It was a close, tough loss. Brock pulled it out at the end, 18-13. And then they kind of spun for a little bit, got beat by Whitesboro, then beat Breckenridge and Shallowater in the playoffs, but then got beat by Whitesboro again. So this has been a big one for them for this year, and they've been very open about that. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. They have said all year long that, hey, we're looking forward to this Brock game. And this will easily be the toughest game Brock has had since playing Gunner. But again, as good as Paradise is, and I think Paradise is really, really good, folks. I think no matter what happens in this game, you're going to see Paradise play for a few rounds. You might even see this as a rematch. But they're not better than Gunner. They're not better than Wimberley. So Brock has seen better. But that doesn't mean that Paradise is not great. This Panther team and Austin Iglesias is a very, very special player. It's been fun to watch him start as a running back, as a sophomore, maybe even as a freshman, and then become the quarterback in this system, and to see what he has done this year and what he did last year. Last year, man, he put up almost 50 total touchdowns. He had over 3,000 yards of total offense, and he's matching that this year. And so this is going to be a blast. This is the type of games this is why Brock scheduled who they scheduled in the non-district the last 2 years. Because it's not, you're not getting the looks you need when you need to play a team like Paradise, or like last year, a Paradise and a Whitesboro in district play. You're not getting those looks if you're just playing powder puff teams in the non-district. And so I know it's a broken record because we said it last year, but it came true. Those games made Brock better. This year, I think those games made Brock better. Will it be enough to beat Paradise round one? We'll see. As always, we'll be talking to the head coach of the Brock Eagles, Coach Billy Mathis, right here. We want to thank our sponsors, Tommy Hayes Photography. You can find him online at TommyHayesPhotography.com. On Instagram at Tommy_Hayes_photography. You can also find him on Facebook. Just type in Tommy Hayes Photography. Sorry, I knocked over my water bottle. Also Eddie Washington at DFW Executive Realty. You can find him online at DFWExecutiveRealty.com. You can email him edwash1@MSN for all your realty needs on the Fort Worth side of DFW. Eddie will take care of you. We also need some playoff sponsors. If you'd like to sponsor the Brock playoff shows, and there will be many, please just email me, Terry at S2SSport.com. You can also send me a message through Facebook, Sideline to Sideline, or on Twitter at Grant and Terry. Heck, you can even text me 469-605-3658, and I'll let you know how you can become a sponsor during the playoffs. All right, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, it's the head coach of the Eagles, Coach Billy Mathis, right here on the Brock Eagle Football Show. Is your demanding work lifestyle in need of fire-resistant clothing that can keep up? Well, L4FR clothing should be your go-to for quality, affordability, safety, and style. L4FR was founded by a third-generation oil field worker who is also a veteran. Thus, this company has a deep appreciation for reliability and longevity, all while we provide first-rate customer service. Our durable apparel will serve you well for many years to come, whether you're working on a pipeline, a lineman climbing utility poles, or in any other environment requiring fire-resistant apparel. L4FR has you covered. Our apparel is tough enough to resist hazardous conditions while still providing high comfort and style. L4FR provides clothing options to ensure your safety and comfort, whether you're on the job or not. To view our complete inventory of flame-resistant garments, please visit our online store at L4FRclothing.com or give us a call at 817-757-4935. Si habla español. Terry Bennett back here on the Brock Football Show. Now joined by the head coach of the Eagles, Coach Billy Mathis. And, Coach, Last week, you go out 21 in the first, 21 in the second. You cruise to a big win over Whitesboro. That offense was really humming.
Man, it was a great night. It was a really good night, and the history we've had with Whitesboro in the last 2 years. It made for sure that our guys were not overlooking anybody, and that we prepared as well for Whitesboro as we prepared for anybody. Of course, everybody was talking about Paradise. Well, we weren't worried about Paradise because we weren't playing them that week. And I was very proud of the guys for blocking out the distractions that were going on and going out there Friday night and taking care of business.
Yeah, it feels like your offense is starting to really find its stroke. When you look at this game, you throw for 274 yards, you run for 383 yards. I mean, to say that you were balanced, you can't beat that type of productivity.
No, you can't, and and that's what we want to do. We want to line up and we want to be as balanced as an offense that you can be, because when you're balanced, it makes it that much harder on the defense. And when you can go and run the ball successfully, you're going to be able to throw the ball successfully. And vice versa. There's teams that are throw first, but you spread them out and throw them. They've got to drop people back, and all of a sudden now you can run the ball. I think we do both well, and I think our offensive staff has done a great job of, going from week to week to week to adding on and cutting out, stuff that wasn't working, and fixing the things that was and getting better at it. And, our quarterback Brody has done nothing but get better and better and better. And same way with our O-line. Tutter and Vance back there running the ball are as two good of running backs as, I think there is in the state. And both those guys are lightning fast, and they can run with power. So our offense has really taken off, and I've been very proud of them. And it's not for a lack of hard work, because those guys are dialed in every day at practice, from film study to, going out there and perfecting each step, and our O-line guys are all about, winning the first two steps, taking those 6-inch steps, knowing what their aiming points are and getting there and, working together as a well machine up there in the front. When those 5 guys, or 6 when you have your tight end in there, when those guys are working well together, it makes for an explosive offense.
Well, let's go back to Gunner. And I remember you said the week after we did that show, or the week after that game we did the show, and you said all things happen for a reason. And it almost feels like your team took that game personally afterwards. And it feels like that at the end of the day, that might have been maybe the best thing that happened, that Gunner kind of took y'all to the woodshed at times and kind of forced your players to realize that they had to step up, and it wasn't just about playing for Brock, but you've got to be a leader for Brock.
That's, it's so true. And it was one of those games that really turned our season to where it is now. And really, for the fact mentally, right? We let that Gunner game get too big emotionally for us. We got out there, we were going to go do this and we were going to go that. And we let all that other stuff of, the stuff that really doesn't matter. And it bit us in the butt, We had to go back in and refocus for that second half. In the second half, we went back out there and played the Brock way. We played hard-nosed football, and we did our job. And it was very eye-opening for everybody. And, it was one of those deals. We go back to work the next week, and what do we say? Do your job. You don't have to make the tackle to be right. You just have to do your job. And when everybody's doing their job, we got a chance to win. And defensively, you hate losing, but you look back on it now, and that was one of those deals that, it was eye-opening. It was one of those things of thinking, you know what? It doesn't matter, if we're bigger up front, but if we don't play well together as a team, we're not going to have a chance to win. And, the kids took it personally. Offensively, they took it personally, because we didn't have a very good offensive output. We're getting better offensive outputs because guys are buying in, and really dialing in to the process of what it takes every day to get ready for Friday night. We got to be better Wednesday than we were Monday at practice. We got to be better Thursday than we were Wednesday. And the kids are understanding that more. they come up to us and say, "Hey, coach, I saw this on film. My first step was here. And, what do you think here?" So they've got a lot of pride, and they want to win, and they understand, hey, nobody's just laying down for us. And I think early in the year they thought, hey, we've been to 2 state championships. We got a ton of seniors coming back. We're just going to roll in there and kick the crap out of everybody. Well, that didn't happen. We played some close games, or we played really well, but didn't come out top, and then we got our butt kicked. And since then, it's been that check of, hey, we're not invincible. We're not unbeatable. Let's go and let's be humble, and let's go and just play disciplined, hard-nosed football.
Well, and you talk about keeping that outside noise in. In the last few weeks, it's been like that. Every team you play in this district loves the chirp, and you have to deal with that. And we talked about that last year, and it's kind of carried over to this year. And again, learning to shut out that noise is one of the biggest things a player can do.
It is, and and the social media stuff that's been sent this week to us. It's part of it sometimes, but our kids take that stuff personally, and they use that. People say, "Hey, I got some bulletin board material up there," and we try not to do that type of stuff. We try to just keep it in house and stay focused on the Brock Eagles. This game is as important as last week's game, but this game's more important right now because it's this week's game, and it's just another game, right? It's just we're going to go play another football team. We're not looking at it. We're trying to block out all the stuff of, hey, this is the best team that y'all played in district. This is for the district championship. Paradise is better than they've ever been. This is their year. They're going to beat Brock, and everybody's picked them to beat us. And our kids, they take that stuff and they internalize it, but they try not to let it affect them, right? They try to block it out. They let it motivate them. They let it drive them. Everybody's picked them to beat us. Come to our place and beat us at our place. That gets the guys all fired up. That gets them excited. Those are the things that we want to use to our advantage, and not let it get to us.
What are your thoughts on Paradise on the field when you look at the film?
Oh, they're just like everybody said, too. They're an excellent football team, right? They play hard. They play fast. Their defense is, as good as the defense that's out there. And offensively, they're doing like us. They're putting points up every which way. They're going to run the ball well. They're going to throw it well. They've done a heck of a job. Coach has done a heck of a job with them. And, last year they played us down to the wire. It's going to be a 4-quarter game this week too. I mean, we know that. We know, what those guys bring. They're not just going to lay down. They've got a lot of pride. And, I know this. They've talked about it, all year long. That's all we've heard. Anytime anybody from Paradise, we hear anything or read anything that says we're preparing each week like we're preparing for Brock. And, we appreciate that respect. We appreciate that type of stuff, so we know that this is the biggest game of the year for them right now. And we respect that and we understand that. And, we're going to go out there and play it, but this game is the most important to us because it's this week's game.
Here at L4 Media, we talk high school football, 4A, 3A, and 2A in Texas. We talk East Texas sports. We talk NFL, guy talk, movie and booze. We also talk wrestling and so much more. And you can see it all on our YouTube channel at L4 Media Company. Like and subscribe. As always, we thank Coach Mathis for joining us here on the Brock Eagle Football Show, brought to you by Tommy Hayes Photography and DFW Executive Realty. And as always, we thank you for joining us here on the show. It's been a great year. Just like last year, you had the ups and downs of that non-district schedule, but things kind of rounded into form. And to be fair, this year's district has not been as tough, but that doesn't mean that it hasn't, it's not been easy. Okay, maybe the scores say it's been easy, but you know what I mean. This one won't be easy. This is going to be a good game. And I know I keep saying that, and I'm extremely excited about it. I really wish we could be there, but we're going down to see Silsbee. We need to see them play, and they're playing Hampshire Finette. That's 4A matchup. It's as big as what Brock and Paradise is. Both of those teams are state ranked. I think Silsbee's a legitimate state championship threat. I think Finette could be. But anyway, back to this one. It's like this Paradise and Brock game. This is going to be a fun game. And just remember, whatever happens, there's a good chance This is a rematch. It just feels like I know Bushland is really good, but Bushland still defensively at times disappears and their run game disappears. Jim Ned is just really injured. Clyde is a team that could make a run. The Bulldogs this year, look at what they're doing. But at the end of the day, it just feels like the road runs through 4-3A Division I. I mean, not only Brock, but also Paradise this year. So go to the game, have fun, enjoy it. Let's remember, it's just a football game. I know sometimes in this district things get really, really intense, but just remember, it's just a football game. Have fun, enjoy it. And until next time, this has been the Brock Eagle Football Show, brought to you by Tommy Hayes Photography and DFW Executive Realty, right here on S2S Sports, part of L4 Media.